This is the weekend edition of Psyched Syed. It's weekend decoding. My name is Sumbul and welcome to the show. Hello everyone and welcome to another segment of Weekend Decoding. And today I'm going to be talking about perfectionism. Perfectionists are their own devils. Jack Kirby. We know his name. He was of a brilliant mind. We use the products he had invented. He is none other than Steve Jobs. Yes, Steve Jobs was a perfectionist. And he's not the first or last person on this earth to be regarded as a perfectionist. The world is filled with perfectionists, and it will always be filled with perfectionists. What is perfectionism, by the way? Perfectionism is a personality disposition characterized by striving for flawlessness and setting exceedingly high standards of performance, accompanied by overly critical self-evaluations and beliefs that others expect perfection. There are debates going on if perfectionism is a good thing or a bad thing. While it's easy to know intellectually that perfection is not possible, we nevertheless strive for it, thinking it's an attainable goal. On social media, everyone is pretending to be perfect, but the reality is entirely different. Everyone is showing everyone else how perfect they are in every domain of life, personal, social, and professional. Yet no one in this world is perfect. No one can be perfect, and no one should have to be perfect. Why should I tell you about anyone else when it comes to perfection when I can tell you all about me? Yes, I am a perfectionist and I'm not proud of it. I do it to such an extent that sometimes I think I have OCPD, obsessive compulsive personality disorder. From my experiences, I can tell you that it's more of a pain than a blessing. If you believe perfectionism is your biggest strength, then I'm sorry, I cannot agree with you. Perfectionists are undoubtedly highly motivated individuals and work with the extreme level of precision. They are high on conscientiousness too. The standards they set for themselves are high as well, but it all comes with a cost. That's quite obvious because holding on to a all or nothing mindset can never be good. I wrote in my latest blog titled Be Like Water recently that life demands flexibility and we must strive for it. We can learn this important trait from water by staying flexible towards life surprises, and by staying soft when dealing with them, we can make things better and not worse. Now that we know perfectionism is not our nice friend, we must know how we can overcome it. There are ways through which we can control our perfectionism, and knowing about them is the first step towards a journey of having a better state of being. People who have perfectionistic tendencies are very meticulous. They think if they let go of it, it is going to affect their performance. However, meticulousness can be counterproductive. It can consume a lot of our time with no significant results in the end. That's why it's so important to bring about a change in our mindset that no work can be absolutely perfect, and it's normal as well. It's not always about having big victories. Sometimes just getting something done is also a decent goal to achieve. It may sound easier said than done, but it's not at all impossible. Perfectionists are very good at setting goals that are way beyond their standards, and this ability comes with a psychological cost. Imagine you want your term paper to be perfect. You want it to be perfect so bad that instead of doing an actual writing, you are putting in your time and energy into focusing on alignments, font type, font size, etc. This does nothing but take you far away from doing the work that's worth paying attention to. Allow yourself to make mistakes. Set smaller and realistic goals that you can achieve without feeling much pressure and without being self critical way too much. Like writing 500 words each day and not wasting time on things that can be taken care of while making the edits. It is easy to waste 3 hours on tiny things if you are a perfectionist. So take the time out and review your progress from time to time. You can do that on a daily or weekly basis that it totally depends upon you, whatever suits you. Ask yourself during those reviewing sessions, did I achieve anything important I was supposed to be achieving? Did I allow myself to be imperfect on purpose? While answering those questions, you are going to gain some perspective, and that's going to help you manage your perfectionism. I hope you have learned something from this video. If you have, then don't forget to subscribe. If you haven't, then don't forget to put below your comments. Your feedback is surely going to help me improve in the future videos. Stay safe and take good care of yourself. And don't forget to take a deep breath. Everything is going to be okay. I will see you next week with another video of Weekend Decoding series.